ROA Kim Zolciak's Georgia mansion set for auction. ROA alum, Kim Zolciak's Georgia mansion is finally set for auction. She and her husband, Kroy Bierman, have been dodging auction and foreclosure for around 2 years. Now, their worst fear is coming true, and it appears they are all out of options. Keep reading to find out when the date is. Kim Zolciak's Georgia mansion set for auction. Since August 2022, Kim Zolciak and Kroy Bierman's Georgia mansion faced foreclosure. They vehemently denied that anything was wrong and maintained their home was safe. Then, in early 2023, there was once again talk about auction and foreclosure, but again, the couple dodged it. They soon filed for divorce and threw a slew of allegations at one another. He claimed Kim had a gambling problem and wanted her to have a psych evaluation. Meanwhile, she wanted Kroy to be drug tested. The cops were called to the home repeatedly, and lawsuits were filed against the duo. More so, cars were being repossessed, and Kim was selling personal items online. She was attempting to recoup some of the money they had lost while Kroy appeared out of control. He was considering bankruptcy, and they agreed with the bank who was foreclosing on them. Truist Bank allowed Kim and Kroy a certain amount of time to sell the home before they were going to foreclose on it. They had to keep lowering the price, and Kroy felt Kim was holding them back by not accepting a proper offer. Now time is up and the home will be auctioned. According to TMZ, Kim Zolciak and Kroy Bierman's home will go to auction on December 3rd. The bank has given them ample time to sell a house, and they did not succeed. Whoever purchases the home will get 2 acres of land, 7 bedrooms, and 11 bathrooms. It is currently priced at just under $4 million, however, at auction, it could be sold for considerably less. This is what Kroy has wanted, but Kim claimed she could not buy a new place with that little money. Are fans shocked? At this point, it is amazing that Kim Zolciak and Kroy Bierman held onto the home as long as they did. Kim maintained she paid for everything with their daughter, Brielle Bierman, chipping in. So are fans shocked that it has come to this? Longest drug-out auction in history. They've dragged this on so long. Kroy said they needed to sell years ago because he knew they were living beyond their means and didn't want to screw over the bank. Hasn't it been set several times before? Let us know when they actually get out. Followers want to see if it will really go to auction this time, as it has been teased before, but never happened. Is there anything they can do to save the house? They have a few weeks to work it out. The sun was setting over Alpharetta, Georgia, casting a golden glow over the sprawling estate that had once been the crown jewel of Kim Zolciak's empire. The opulent mansion stood as a testament to her rise to fame on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, a glittering reminder of the life she had crafted for herself and her family. But as the shadows lengthened, an air of uncertainty loomed over the property. The headlines were everywhere. Kim Zolciak's Georgia mansion set for auction. The mansion, a Mediterranean-inspired masterpiece with 6 bedrooms, sprawling staircases, and an infinity pool that seemed to stretch into the horizon, had been more than a home. It had been the backdrop for years of reality television drama, an emblem of Kim's larger-than-life personality and penchant for luxury. Every inch of the estate had been carefully curated, from the custom chandeliers imported from Italy to the gold-accented fixtures that screamed opulence. But now, the grandeur felt hollow. Kim stood on the balcony overlooking the backyard, her blonde hair blowing in the crisp January breeze. She clutched a glass of wine, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against the glass as she gazed out at the property. The laughter of her children once echoed in this space, mingling with the sounds of pool parties and extravagant celebrations. It all seemed like a distant memory now. Kroy Bierman, her husband, appeared in the doorway. His broad shoulders filled the frame, but his expression was somber. "Kim," he said softly, "the auction is set for next week." Kim turned to him, her eyes glistening. "I thought we had more time," she whispered. Kroy sighed, stepping onto the balcony. "We tried everything. Negotiations, refinancing, but the banks, they're not budging. It's out of our hands now." For a moment, they stood in silence, the weight of the situation pressing down on them. This house wasn't just bricks and mortar. It was the culmination of years of hard work, television deals, and a lifestyle that had been equal parts aspirational and controversial. Kim's mind raced. She remembered the day they bought the house, walking through the grand entryway for the first time. She had imagined their lives unfolding within these walls, the laughter, the tears, the memories they would create. And they had, but now it was slipping away. "Maybe we can fight it," Kim said, her voice tinged with desperation. "There has to be a way." Croy placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We've done everything we could. Sometimes you just have to let go." Kim shook her head. Letting go wasn't in her DNA. She had built a brand on resilience, on bouncing back no matter what life threw at her. But this felt different. This felt like an ending. As news of the auction spread, the story became fodder for tabloids and social media. Former castmates weighed in, some expressing sympathy, others not so subtly reveling in the schadenfreude. Nee Leakes, her longtime frenemy, posted a cryptic tweet. "Karma's a real one, honey. #House of Cards." Kim's daughters, Brielle and Ariana, took to Instagram to defend their mother. "People don't know the whole story," Brielle wrote. "Our family has been through so much, and we always come out stronger. This is just a bump in the road." Still, the whispers grew louder. Speculation about the couple's finances, their spending habits, and the lifestyle they had flaunted on television fueled the narrative. Some critics saw it as a cautionary tale about living beyond one's means, while others saw it as the inevitable downfall of a reality star whose fame had waned. On the day of the auction, a crowd gathered outside the estate. Reporters, curious onlookers, and potential buyers milled about, their voices creating a low hum of anticipation. Kim watched from an upstairs window, her heart pounding. She had never felt so exposed. "Are you ready?" Croy asked, appearing behind her. Kim turned to him, her eyes brimming with tears. "I don't know if I can do this," she admitted. Croy took her hand, his grip firm and steady. "You can. We can. This house doesn't define us. Our family does. And no auction can take that away." Kim nodded, drawing strength from his words. Together, they made their way downstairs and stepped outside. The crowd turned to look at them, cameras flashing. Kim squared her shoulders, channeling the confidence that had made her a star. The auctioneer's voice rang out, calling for bids. Kim's chest tightened with every number that was shouted. It was surreal, watching strangers vie for the home she had poured her heart into. But as the numbers climbed higher, she felt a strange sense of detachment. This house, as beautiful as it was, didn't hold her future. It was a chapter, not the whole story. When the gavel finally fell, signaling the sale, a hush fell over the crowd. Kim felt a wave of emotions, sadness, relief, and a glimmer of hope. She turned to Croy, who gave her a small, encouraging smile. As they walked back into the house, Kim took one last look around. The empty rooms echoed with memories, but they also held the promise of new beginnings. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew one thing: she wasn't done fighting. Later that evening, as the family gathered in the living room, surrounded by moving boxes, Kim raised her glass. "To new beginnings," she said, her voice steady. "This might be the end of this chapter, but it's not the end of our story." Her children and Croy raised their glasses, their faces reflecting a mix of determination and hope. And in that moment, Kim Zolciak realized that while she might be losing a house, she wasn't losing what mattered most. As the sun set on the mansion for the last time, the family's laughter filled the space one final time. It wasn't the grandeur of the house that made them who they were. It was their resilience, their love, and their unwavering belief that no matter what life threw at them, they would rise again.